Hello everybody, welcome back to the Tech Unlocked podcast, the podcast where we unlock the latest news, leaks, rumors, and more in the world of tech. I'm one of your hosts, Benji from BenObi Tech, and I'm joined as always by Taylor from TA Tech.
What's up, Benji? What's up?
Alright, well Taylor, we've had a lot of stuff happen this week. Like we've had 3 events, we've had drama with Facebook happening as usual. A bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, when doesn't the drama with Facebook end? Like, honestly, what you hear one thing and then automatically that thing ends, another one starts. It's like it's always something. It's Facebook, of course. There's always something.
Yeah. So we've got a pretty spicy episode today.
Definitely.
And we're gonna start it off with going all the way to the start of the week with the Apple event. So I'm sure you've watched it. You probably watched it more than once, right?
No, that's because I didn't have time, but I want to. Same with the Google event. I don't know why, but like those 2 events really had me hooked, and especially the Apple event though. You know, with the new MacBooks. I know there's a lot of people out there, including myself. I mean, in a way, I hear a lot of people talking about the notch and, not wanting the notch on the MacBook, saying it's, stupid, it's ugly. And I mean, to an extent, I agree. It is kind of ugly. It is weird. But at the same time, I just think that it's a new design and a lot of people just need to get used to it. I don't think, honestly, it's as bad as the iPhones. That's just my opinion. What's yours?
Yeah, I guess we'll get to that in a second, but just to bring people up to speed, Apple had their event. It was a virtual event, which was really good, and they announced the new MacBook Pros, which are absolute beasts with the M1 Max and with the M1 Pro and the M1 Max processors, which are just destroy the competition completely. And then they also announced Airpods 3, which are a bit of a upgrade, especially compared to the Airpods Pro that you could get for the same price. We discussed this in the last episode. But they also announced new colors for the HomePod. Fortunately, they didn't do a whole event just for the colors of the HomePod because we're not naming names here, but somebody else kind of did that with a phone, and we'll talk about that later. But I think that's everything. Did they announce anything else that I missed from the event?
No, not really. I mean, there was just the HomePod, the new HomePods with colors. I think. Oh,
and actually, for those who live in the UK, you're gonna love the HomePod update because it's actually £10 cheaper now from Apple. Because it used to be £99 here, and now it's £89.
Ooh.
So I'm pretty hyped about that.
Ooh, that's nice.
So hopefully, and they also lowered the price of AirPods Pro, and the AirPods 3 are not as expensive as they could have been. So that's good. And even, I think even the MacBook Pro, because I think in the US it starts at $199. Here it starts at like $184 or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, so all of you in the UK are probably going to be excited because these new products are cheaper. Well, no, actually, it's still cheaper. If I were to go to the US and bought it in the US, it would still be cheaper. But yeah, anyway. So I guess we could go back to talking about the MacBook Pros, the notch. Like I've seen a lot of people complain about the notch, but honestly, all of you people who are complaining about the notch, you're probably someone who's either 1, you're never going to buy the computer. 2, you hate Apple. Or 3, you're going to buy it anyway because you need a MacBook and you don't care. And like people who have bought the iPhones when they had a notch, nobody really cares about that at this point. Like people who actually physically own an iPhone and use one every day, they're not going to care about that notch. Like, seriously.
It's honestly like I don't understand why people make big deals about it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are seeing this as Apple kind of standing out with the notch, and it's
Yeah.
kind of their branding, which I think is excellent. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody else on the market makes a computer with a notch. Nobody else on the market, at least most smartphones now that come out, they don't have a notch, but Apple still has it. And so when somebody sees a phone with a notch, or now they see a computer with a notch, they're like, oh yeah, that's Apple. And also, I mean, I don't care. Like, if there's a notch on the MacBook Pro's display, it's different from an iPhone, because an iPhone is a smaller display. You could have other stuff displayed up there, but like a MacBook Pro, like I think we said it in our last episode, like it's hidden in the status bar. Now that you can hide it completely as well, like with the having the status bar be completely black, like that's not, the notch is not a problem, because you're not going to be displaying stuff on there most of the time. Like, probably
Exactly.
9.5 out of 10 apps use the whole menu bar, status bar, whatever you want to call it. So I mean, I don't honestly care about the notch, and also it does house a lot of sensors, and it makes the bezels around the whole computer even thinner, which, I mean, I'm down for it. So I don't know.
Definitely.
What are your
Listen,
thoughts?
listen, I even said this before. Had I not bought this computer, this MacBook that I have now, the 2020 13-inch, I would definitely buy that one. Like, honestly. And even more so because of the keyboard. I love how they have now a complete black keyboard. That was, like, amazing. I think that, to me, that was the best move they could have done.
That one's cool.
Although, and I've said this to you off podcast, I really wish they kept the touch bar. Because honestly, like, dude, I personally, I know that there's a lot of people out there who don't care for it and don't use it, but me, I'm using it constantly. Like, that was the main reason I didn't go for, like, a MacBook Air that I could have gone for cheaper. Yes, I mean, MacBook Air probably would have been the worst mistake, considering I do a lot of editing and stuff. But, again, when it comes to the touch bar here, dude, like, they could have done it. They could have taken make the keyboard a little bit smaller, and make the keys on the keyboard a little bit smaller, and add that touch bar. Like, there's no excuse. I'm sorry. Yes, again, I understand there's probably more people that hate it than like it, but you should also cater to the ones that do like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like with 3D Touch. When they removed 3D Touch, I was like, why? Because it's a unique feature. It's a feature that's useful. And then now that we don't have it, people are realizing, oh, I actually miss 3D Touch. And I think it's going to be the same thing with the Touch Bar. People are going to buy this new MacBook Pro. They're going to be using it for a couple weeks, and they're like, oh, man, I actually wish they kept the Touch Bar. Because, I mean, yes, I think it's kind of dumb. I've been thinking about it recently, about how the older MacBook Pros, they're older now, they don't have, like, the touch bar. They have the touch bar, but they don't have the function keys. And so when, let's say, the touch bar just dies randomly, it's never happened to me. I don't think it's happened to you either, Taylor. And then you're like, oh, I have no escape key. I have no F1, F3, whatever. So, I mean, I see the argument there, but still, like, the touch bar, for a lot of people, a lot of pro users, they care about having that extra screen on the keyboard, and they can, like, I've seen concepts for it the past couple of days. They could easily fit it a lot, like, on top, above the function keys. There's enough space to fit the touch bar, and they could add it as like a $200 add-on, like, for people who want the touch bar. If people don't want the touch bar, then fine, just don't buy a computer with the touch bar. It's as simple as that.
I'm just telling you, I think that it'll be back. It'll be,
I mean, hopefully. I wouldn't put my money on that. Like, same with things like 3D Touch, or even the headphone jack. But yeah, I mean, I think something great about the new MacBook Pro, though, that I really like, is how they went back on just having USB-C ports and Thunderbolt ports, and now they have a lot of other ports as well. Like they have an HDMI, SD card reader, because those are like essential for pro users. Like people like me, I have a camera that I use to record all my videos, and having to use a dongle and having to travel and having to remember to carry that dongle, it's always just inconvenient. And it would be so nice if I had those ports, and now that that's an option, I'm really grateful that they did that. Even with MagSafe, like, yes, the MagSafe charging port, some people are like, oh, why did they bring it back? Like, USB-C is completely fine for charging and stuff like that. But I mean, you could still charge the computer using the Thunderbolt ports, which is nice. But if you want that faster charging, you can charge it with the MagSafe charger, which is really good. And a lot of people liked MagSafe, and seeming as Apple is going more and more into MagSafe now. Like they started with the Apple Watch, and then they removed it on the MacBooks, but now it's back. And then they've added it to the iPhone. It's just cool that we have this extra option for charging on a MacBook. Just like with the iPhone, we have wireless charging with MagSafe, and we also have wired charging. Those are two options. And then same with the AirPods, and now with the Mac, we have two options to charge. So, I mean, honestly, it's a great computer, like Touch Bar or not. It just blows everything else out of the water. And with their Apple Silicon, and actually, I don't know if you saw it, but Intel, the other day, they made a statement. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna try to win Apple back. Like they're gonna try to make processors that are better than Apple's, so that they could draw them back." I was like, "No, that's never gonna happen."
No.
Apple is too much of a prideful company to be able to go back on something that big. I think, like,
yeah, for sure. I saw that and I'm just like, yeah. Keep wishing.
Yeah, exactly. Like Intel.
Keep dreaming.
Apple's just going to be here. They're just going to destroy all the PCs in terms of productivity and stuff. It's just...
So, I wanted to ask you what your thoughts are with the new $19 Apple cloth.
Yeah, because, I mean, alongside everything else, Apple decided to sell a cloth, and everybody's freaking out and buying it, and now it's even back ordered till January. Like, how many? Like, I get it's a cool thing. Like, people buy it. Like, me and Taylor, we're Apple fanboys. Like, we love Apple.
Yeah.
We would buy, if we had all the money in the world, we'd buy everything Apple. $19 for a cloth. Like, are you actually out of your mind? Like, yes, it's high quality. Yes, it's nice. But, like, do you need a $19 cloth when you can go on eBay and you could buy some microfiber cloths? You could buy, like, a 10-pack probably for, like, $1. And then you go and spend $19 on a cloth just because it has an Apple logo on it.
I made a video on it, and I'm like, you know what? I have to. I know this is, like, a small thing, but, like, I have to talk about it. And I even said, like, you know, Apple made it, you know, there's an Apple logo on it and everything, so automatically Apple sheep are going to want it and whatnot. But I'm like, seriously, you could go to, like, a local store, like a Walmart here in the U.S. or, you know, whatever, and buy something for, like, $5. You know what I mean? Like, there's no need for a $19 cloth. Like, what's so different about that cloth that we don't already see in other ones? You know what I mean? Like,
I saw somebody the other day. They're like, "Oh, because it's made for this special glass on the Pro XDR display," and I'm like, "Yeah, probably 10 people own that display in this world. Like MKBHD, iJustine, and a couple other people own the Pro XDR display and own multiple and need a cloth, and it comes with it anyway." So, like, yeah, it's kind of dumb how people are freaking out over this. Even people who I think it's the same with people who are buying AirPods 3. It's like you can go and buy AirPods Pro for almost the same price on a third-party website, but no, you have to go and buy the AirPods 3 because they're new and they're inferior to the AirPods Pro, and you can buy them for the exact same price.
yeah, exactly.
Like, why, people? Just if you want to buy AirPods 3. Wait a year.
Yes.
And then buy AirPods 3. Because
Yes.
then they're going to be cheaper and they're going to actually be worth it. But now, I mean, I like how they kind of kept the price very similar to the second gen AirPods, and then they lowered the price of the second gen AirPods as well. But still, like, I mean, I'm not buying AirPods 3.
No, me
If I had to buy AirPods right now, I'd go buy AirPods Pro from Amazon.
Right, exactly. Man, what do you think of the design though? Like, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the overall design?
I mean, I like how they're very similar to AirPods Pro. So now people, like, we needed a redesign for AirPods because we've had the same design for, like, since I think 2017. I think it was when, no, or maybe it was 2016. Whatever the iPhone, the iPhone 7 came out, they released AirPods. Like, it's nice, and it's nice that it's in a compact design. It has better battery life as well. In fact, that's probably one of the only reasons why you should consider buying the AirPods 3 over the Pros, is because they have like an extra hour or two of battery life. Yay, it's going to change your life. But I mean, yeah, I don't mind the design. I like how they've got magnets inside to work with MagSafe. And actually, another thing that they didn't announce at the event was that they also updated the AirPods Pro. Literally, the only change with the AirPods Pro is they have a MagSafe charging case. And people are gonna buy new AirPods Pro now just because of that. But
probably, probably. I mean, I wouldn't be putting it past anyone. So you know.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I don't want to buy the AirPods 3, but I'm gonna spend another $250 on AirPods Pro again just because I can charge it with MagSafe.
Right, exactly.
Like, is it that big of a deal? Like, yes, wireless charging isn't very reliable. Like at least with my AirPods, when I wirelessly charge them, sometimes they don't, like, they're not. Like, with some of the chargers I've got, they don't fully work and charge, which is kind of weird. And MagSafe probably kind of fixes that. But still, like, why do you have to go and buy a brand new pair? Just so you can have MagSafe. It's like...
Man.
Anyway, Apple is Apple.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Let's talk about the Google event. What do you think of that? I know you watched a small portion of it, and I mean a really small portion of it. So
yeah, like, I turned it on. I wasn't even feeling well that evening. In fact, I had to skip work that day. But like, I just turned it on. I watched like the first, I think it was 10 minutes, and then they started talking about the design and how they changed it and how it's like unique and stuff. I was like, yeah, okay, and I just turned off because in my mind I was like, we know exactly we know every single detail about this phone already. Like, Google's already announced the whole phone without the event. It's like, what's the point in watching it? Like, I'll probably go back and rewatch the event just for the lulz, but seriously.
Yeah. No, same here. There was very little that we didn't know, or anything, that we didn't know. I want to see personally how the camera bump looks with cases on it. I mean, I've seen some videos and some pictures and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like that camera bump is way too big. I don't know. Maybe it's just me that I'm used to a small camera bump on the iPhone, but for me, I think that one is just way too big.
I mean, I think what I like about the camera bar is how you can set it on a table, and it's like at an angle where you can comfortably use it on a table and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
I think, like, with normal phones, they just lay flat on a table unless you have an iPhone where they like have a weird like degree angle. But like, iPhones don't really rock on a table and stuff like that with a case on, and so you can easily use the phone with one hand. I don't know. That was just my thought. But also, I mean, I don't really mind the camera, but people are going to be using this phone with a case anyway.
Right.
And it probably won't cover the camera bar. Like, I think I agree with you. It's a bit big, but I mean, the cameras that it houses are pretty insane. So
yeah,
I mean,
true.
I don't really mind that.
True. That's definitely true.
But I mean, I don't know what do you think about the price gap between the 6 and the 6 Pro? Because the 6 comes in at, I think it's $599. And then the Pro comes in at $899, so that's like a $300 difference. And like with the Pro, you're not really getting that many extra features. Like, you're getting an extra telephoto lens, which is nice. You're getting a higher quality display, the processor's the same, but you also get a 120 hertz as opposed to 90 hertz, and then a couple of other things I can't remember, but there's not really that much of a difference. And even in screen size, like they're almost like in video comparisons, like they look size wise they look almost the same. Like the regular version is just a tad bit smaller and it's got the bezels a bit thicker. But what are your thoughts on like the price gap? Do you think people are gonna not go for the Pixel Pro, but they're gonna go for the 6 just because there's that big of a price gap and that little amount of features for the upgrade? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
The normal day-to-day person, absolutely, they're gonna go for the lower version. Not only because of the price, but I think that also they're probably not gonna care as much for the technology. You know what I mean? Now, like for the tech people, they're definitely gonna go for the pros. Like, us tech YouTubers, you know how it is. We want the latest and greatest, and especially when it comes to the cameras. So, I definitely see people going for the lower end model than the higher end. Now, I'm not gonna say that there's not gonna be a person here or there that doesn't go for the higher end model because, as you said yourself, the bezels are a little bit thicker on the lower end model than the higher end model, and there's a lot of people out there who care about that, So yeah, I definitely see people going in for both, but more for the lower end.
Yeah, I think the label Pro might make some more people interested in getting the Pro instead of the regular 6. But like even for me, like I'm seriously considering to pick up a Pixel before or after launch day, and I'm gonna get the Pixel 6 just because it's $300 cheaper. It does almost the same stuff. Yes, it's not as great, but I think it's also, I was just thinking, because also comparing the iPhone lineup, like now they've got the 13 and the 13 Pro, and like if you go, like if you compare the 13 mini to the Pro, then there's like a $300 price difference, but then if you were to go with the 13 and the 13 Pro, which is I think is more of a safe comparison, then it's only a $200 difference. So. And there are a lot of people that are going for the iPhone Pro instead of the regular just because they're like, oh, it's better. It's got 3 cameras and stuff like that. Like, I think that's probably one of the only things that I would be interested in. Like, I don't really care about the high refresh rate display, to be honest. Like, 60 hertz is fine for me. I'm not complaining. 90 hertz is better, of course. But, I mean, the only reason I would go for the Pro is just because it has an extra camera. It has the telephoto lens, which is nice. It's nice to have a telephoto lens.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, for sure.
What are your thoughts on like all the new software features that they have? It's kind of like, I think they're kind of digressing from stock Android, and they're kind of creating their own version. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I think the software is beautiful. I honestly, and I even said this before, this is kind of weird for me, but I kind of want to pick one up and test it out. I just think that between hardware and software, it's a beautiful device, and even the software is just, they did a really good thing. Now, I did see, and I don't know if you've noticed, I don't know whose video I was watching. First of all, I didn't think that you could turn on the phone and show the display yet. I've seen a lot of people turn on the phone and just show like the home screen and stuff.
Yeah, because there's like an embargo on it. Like people are only allowed to show the home screen, and like the home screen icons, but then they can't show anything else software, which is kind of weird, honestly. Like for an embargo, like usually they're able to like show the whole phone, all the features right then and there. Which a lot of people are kind of saying it's a bit of a red flag. Like, what if there's something wrong, or what if it's not as good as...
I heard people are actually holding back on making videos because of that. Like,
oh, yeah. Like, honestly, I probably would as well, because I'm too scared to break the embargo and then Google being like, nah, you're not part of Team Pixel anymore.
Damn.
Farewell.
Yeah, exactly. But no, but like I was saying, I was noticing that the clock. So if you were to look at the display and look at the home screen, um, the clock thing that has the time and the date on it, you can see the date actually going around as well as the hands on the clock, which I thought was kind of weird but kind of cool at the same time. Um, as far as like the design of the clock, I kind of think it's weird, but whatever. I think at the same time it makes it unique, and Google is definitely trying to make their own kind of software look different from the others, which I respect completely. I felt like there was a lot of Android phones that just looked the same when it came to home screen and just overall, the way the apps look and everything. But I definitely like where Google is going with it. Like, no joke. Especially the features where they were even showing off how if you don't want to answer a call, there's the machine that could do it for you and stuff like that. I don't know what it's called now, but I yeah, yeah, I really like that. I really like that. I kind of wish iPhones came with the same thing. It would be so cool, like, having the machine answer and be like, okay, it's this person. You can actually talk. It's this person. You can't. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, honestly, I think Google are definitely killing it with their AI, like with Google Assistant and everything. They're just beasts at it, and now that they're actually releasing some pretty promising hardware, like it's really cool how also like the phone sold out on Google's website almost like within the first few hours, which is really good. Like for a phone that has received a lot of hate and stuff. But I'm honestly really interested to see how the Tensor chip performs, and how it does with battery life and things like that. Because I think those are really going to be the deciding factor for a lot of people. Like, is the software good? Is this good? Is this bad? Things like that. So I'm really looking forward to those videos and to that stuff. But yeah, honestly, Google, like, keep doing what you're doing, but also make us part of Team Pixel.
Maybe you'll win over some Apple sheep over here. Can you?
I mean, probably not me, but maybe you.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Ends up buying a Pixel Slate.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no. I'm all set with that.
That's everything for the Google event. Then Samsung decided to have an event, and it was literally the shortest event I've ever seen. They didn't announce any products. It was literally like, I want those 25 minutes of my life back.
Don't get me started on that Samsung event.
Yeah, like literally the only stuff, guys, the only things that they announced was now you can customize the color of your Z Flip. So like you can order the Z Flip and customize the two colors. And then you can also change it. Like if you ever choose that you want different colors, you can send it back to Samsung and then they'll change it for you. And then they announced some updates with One UI. And I think that was about it.
And just over the fact that it was 25 minutes, what? It was the most boring event. And I honestly, I even thought, oh, this is going to be a cool event. Let me pull it up on my TV. Yeah, no. I mean...
And production quality was better than Google's.
Yeah, it was. It was. I really liked the production quality.
But I think it was also very strange how they started off with like some Korean model or something. I don't know where she was from, but she was like, "Oh, I love my Z Flip. It's like a very fashionable thing, and then I can easily fit it in my pocket." It's like you could do that with a normal phone as well. You don't have to.
Yeah. Don't even. Don't even. Listen.
Ah.
They try. I honestly think they try to flex way too much, and yeah, that was just not it. That's not the way, Samsung. I'm sorry. You know, I'm really hoping that they do better on the next event, and don't show off like that, because I even said on my stream the other day, like, they could have easily made small clip videos as they always do, or do a press release of them and say, hey, these are on our site. Go purchase them right now, kind of thing. And even other companies, like, I'm sure other companies are going to or already have the skins.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like you don't need to buy the Z Flip in different colors. You could just buy a D brand skin. Because I mean, I'm sure it'll cost money to switch the colors as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, another thing that I thought is, seeing as you can change the color of the Z Flip, what are people gonna do in between them sending the phone off and receiving it again? Like, they don't have a phone during that time. I don't know how Samsung's gonna handle that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, are they just gonna send them another Z Flip for the time being, or?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not like you can actually, like, years ago when I sent my iPhone 4, they sent me like a LG flip phone. It's not like they can actually do that kind of thing anymore. Again, as you said, maybe they'll send another, maybe a cheaper version of an Android device for the time being, but I don't see many people using that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how this is all gonna work. Like, in all honesty, did they need an event for this? No.
Oh no.
They as you said before, they could have literally just posted clips on their website, as they always do. Just like 5-minute clips. Like, oh look, now you can customize the color. Purchase here. Oh, now this is all the updates with One UI. They didn't have to do a whole event. I think the only reason why they did the event was just so they could get some press for it. Because if they did like a web release or something during this week, then people were gonna be like, Apple, Google, Samsung. Oh, Apple and Google again, and they're just gonna not care.
I think we discussed this on the last episode, but this is the first year that we've had so many events like in 1 week.
Yeah, I think it has been.
It was crazy, and I kind of hope that they do it again like this next year, because it just creates so much hype and keeps us busy, to be honest. So I kind of hope they do it next year. I think that we already covered the Samsung event, because that was, again, like the smallest 20-minute event that I'll never take back. I know a lot of people are probably going to click off and not listen to this next part, but I do want to talk about Facebook and the fact that it's rebranding. So I was on Twitter and I saw that, and I'm like, okay, what the heck? And I didn't think of it. I didn't think anything of it, so I was like, okay, whatever. And then you sent the thing for our notes, and I'm like, wait, that's actually happening? What? You saw it. I freaked out. I'm like, what am I missing here? Because I honestly, like, I did see it, but I just didn't think anything of it. Because, we hear all these things. Oh, Facebook's going to do this. Facebook's going to do that. Facebook's going to drop off the face of the earth. And it's still here. So it's just like, why? Yeah. Why are they doing this?
Like, Facebook basically thinks that because they're getting all of this bad press, and a lot of people don't trust them because of all the privacy issues, they're like, let's have a fresh start. Let's just change the name of Facebook and rebrand, and then everyone's gonna love us. It's like, no, people are not gonna change their mind. It's the same company. Like, yes, you'll probably have like a grandma that's probably like, oh, new social media platform. Facebook doesn't exist. I'm gonna go use this now to do all of my weird we can guess your age from your face thing. So like, honestly, I don't know.
That's just like I'm sorry. I think this is honestly gonna push people even more away from Facebook. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I want to see what they do with that.
Like I even wonder what they're gonna name it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do you even have a name already, and why?
We'll call it iBook instead.
Yeah.
iBook.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right?
Or Thumbbook. I don't know.
Yeah. The scroll book.
Scroll book. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna call it. Like, honestly,
Oh man.
they'll just call it.
Yeah.
They'll just call it. We care about your privacy, Incorporated.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They don't care at all. They don't care at all.
We keep your data safe. We don't sell it to China.
Sure you don't. Yeah. But no, I honestly, I want to, like I said, I want to see how people react to this, and how far this is gonna go. You know what I mean? I mean, we already know how far, and how bad Facebook has it. With everything. So
People still use it.
yeah, people still use it, exactly. I mean, listen, I honestly, if I didn't have family and friends that I communicate with, and even, my YouTube pages, I probably wouldn't even have Facebook right now, like, honestly, you know. Given the fact that even, like, my Facebook page doesn't really have, too many followers on it, but I still like to post on it. I still have a couple family and friends that support me, even though they don't like to watch every single one of my videos. Whenever I ask them, hey, check out this video, they will, and, they give me feedback and everything. So I am grateful for that. But, yeah. That's my thoughts on this whole Facebook thing. I honestly, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just wonder if they're going to, like, expand in any way and, make different things or what, Like, what's the whole point of except the fact that, like I said, they want to try to get people. I don't think it's going to happen, like I said, but, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what Facebook does with all that. But is there anything that we forgot to cover that you think we should cover before we wrap up?
No, I definitely think we've covered everything for the week. I know Sony is going to have an event. Is it next week?
Yeah, I think it's the 26th. So yeah, next week.
Do we know what's going to be happening there?
I think they're just announcing a new phone. It's probably.
Oh, really?
Nobody really cares about Sony phones anyway. They're probably just gonna come, like, one day they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna stop making phones now. Like, the thing that they're known for, I think, is just the absurd amount of cameras that they put on their phones sometimes. Like, they make that, like, spider looking phone, like, just had a round camera lens on the back with like 10 cameras or something.
Right.
So they're probably just gonna announce another crazy phone like that.
We'll see, but hopefully we'll have more on that next week. Thank you, Benji, for another amazing episode with you.
No worries, thank you.
We are episode 5 of our new podcast, and I can't wait to do more.
Yeah, same.
This has been really fun.
We just need to promote it a little bit more, I think, but
Yeah, definitely. And I also want to maybe talk about having guests as well. I think that would be pretty cool to have too.
Yeah. Well, who do you guys think we should have on our podcast? Not anyone like that's just over the moon impossible to get on the show, but who are some people that you guys want to see? You could tweet us and let us know. The link will be in the description below to our Twitter. But I think, yeah, that's about it. If you guys have any questions or any concerns or anything, just let us know over on social media. And also check the show notes for links to some of the web news pages that we used for this show, for this episode.
As well as our social medias.
As well as our social medias and YouTube channels and everything. So be sure to check them all out. But that's all from me.
I'm almost at 300 subscribers, guys. So help me out.
How many left?
3.
Ooh,
3.
You're so close. You're gonna get there.
So close, man. So close.
You're gonna get to 10,000 by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen, but
it's a bit ambitious. It's like saying I'll reach 5,100 by the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I've gained 0 subscribers since I've been back. But anyway, hope you all have a wonderful weekend and rest of the week, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.